All right, it is 5 o'clock, and I will call the meeting to order. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I will be in this position for a very short time, but included in that time will be entertaining a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Olson,
I'll second.
seconded by Ms. Nelson. Any discussion, questions? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Excuse me. The most exciting thing probably on the agenda for tonight is the election of officers, which includes the board offices, the chair, the vice chair, the secretary, or the clerk, and the treasurer. And I had a bunch of notes all prepared here, and then Ray Darcy over there took it upon herself to provide probably a better version, so I will read her list rather than mine. I am the acting chair, and for this process of electing officers, I will conduct the election of only the chair, and then the chair will take over and do the rest. All right, so any of us can nominate another board member. Nominations do not require a second. I will ask for, or make the statement that it is now in order for nomination to be made for the office of chair. Somebody will perhaps nominate somebody, and then the chair will say, are there any other nominations? And if I don't hear anything, I will say it again a second time, and if I don't hear anything, I will say it again the third time. If someone offers another nomination, then we will do the same thing until no one nominates anyone. But the process involves the chair offering a nomination 3 times, after which it is concluded that the nominations are over, and so we will go on to the next office. The act, yeah, that's all stipulated here. Third call for a motion. Yeah. All right. The actual voting, we are different. We are elected officers, and so it's different than going to the polls in the fall and voting for the president, which is done entirely in secret. Here, our votes, since we are elected officials, our votes are not secret. They are always a matter of public record, no matter what we're voting for, and that's the case here too. It has been our habit in the past to have a paper ballot, and I like that. The advantage of that is we do vote in secret for a while, so nobody is affected by somebody else raising their hand or making it known at the time we are voting for whom you are voting. So we will, I would suggest that on that paper ballot, you put your name at the top so Darcy will know whose ballot it is, and then the office that's being elected, and then the person for whom you are voting. And then Darcy will collect those, and in a sort of a roll call matter, indicate who Bruce voted for, Dave, me, et cetera. Okay? I guess that's it. So it is now in order for me to ask for nominations for chair.
I'd like to place in the nomination Kim Nelson for chair for District 241 School Board.
Okay, Kim Nelson has been nominated. Are there any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? I can assume then that nominations have ceased, and we should cast a unanimous vote for Kim. It's, in a sense, already been done. Okay? Congratulations.
Madam Chair. but you might want your phone. Thanks for the 2 years, Neil. Yes, thank you, Neil.
It's been a pleasure.
Yes. Might have to lower the chair too. No, it's, it's okay. Well, thank you, my fellow board members, for having confidence in me that I can take on this role. I'm humbled with the nomination and look forward to working with all of you in this role. So we will move on to vice chair. Are there any nominations for the office of vice chair?
I'll nominate Gary Schindler.
Gary Schindler's been nominated for vice chair. Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Nominations cease, and so it will be just like the chair, unanimous vote for Gary for vice chair. Welcome. Do I need to gavel every time? Just, this also might have to happen because I'm left-handed. Sorry, watch out, yeah. All right, so now we'll move on to the office of clerk. I think I'm going in the right. Is there any nominations for the office of clerk?
I nominate Dave Platt.
Dave Klatt's been nominated for the office of clerk. Any other nominations? Any other nominations? By unanimous vote, Dave will be our clerk.
Thank you.
Final office is that of treasurer. Is there any nominations for treasurer?
I'll nominate Bruce.
Any other nominations? Oh, sorry, Bruce Olson's been nominated for treasurer. Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Wow, we're an easy group to get along with tonight. All right. Well, welcome, Bruce, to the executive team. That was pretty painless. Thank you for that. So Angie, Neil, and Davey will serve as directors. We'll move on to standing committees. We have finance, policy review, and facilities. Typically what happens is if you have a preference and want to be, if you've served on these and want to serve again, we just kind of go around and you say who would like to, and if we have, it pretty much just happens that it evens out. So for finance, currently we have Gary, Dave, and Neil. Is there anybody else that would like to serve on there? Or the three that are on there, would you like to continue?
I've enjoyed that crowd.
Okay. Sounds good. Everybody okay with that?
I'm assuming that's the spell checker's confused about my last name.
Yeah.
I've not been red listed.
Yeah, we redlined you, Neil, yeah, yeah. So, under policy review, we have Gary, Angie, and Davey. I wouldn't mind serving on that again, if someone wants to take a break from that, but,
I can take a break. I wouldn't mind being on facilities if that opens up next.
yeah, that's, I would switch that, so, yeah. Okay. You too, Davey? Okay. Is everybody okay with basically Gary and I just taking, we'd switch, I was on facilities? Okay. Is there Bruce and Davey on facilities? Is that something you still want to do? Okay, all right.
Angie also.
Oh, Angie's replacing me, yeah. Right? No? Yeah, yep. All right. So we have all the committees. Is that crystal clear for you, Darcy? Yeah, thank you. So these are committees that we represent the board on, or agencies. We have the Minnesota State High School League. Neil has been our representative. Is that something you want to continue?
Paul, you remember earlier today, I mentioned that there was something that I wanted to ask you about. Now I remember. I was on that for, I don't know, you approached me and asked me if I wanted to be on that. And but somewhere in like July or thereafter, I was informed at the meeting that we went to that my term had expired. And I have no idea why that. I just assumed that there must be, some kind of a rotation, but that's what I wanted to ask you about. I'd be happy to do that, but my term expired.
So the region committee is filled with members of all member schools of the region in different roles. School board members, superintendents, principals, activities directors, coaches. And there's a rotation established with the region to fill that committee.
Okay.
So I'm unsure if there's any other need to elect a committee member in this setting.
So,
Okay.
so when I served, and I think when you did, this would be on a local level, if there were some kind of Minnesota State High School League grievance or awards, if folks couldn't be, officials couldn't be present. So we nominate someone on the local level, and the only thing I did was help with the baseball award for the state, so.
I believe when we filled our paperwork with the state high school, we put to be determined in that space.
Okay.
That could be determined now, or we could leave that vacant, or should a need arise, we could build it.
Sure. We could do it now, and then we could add it. Is there someone who's interested in that?
Did you
Role.
have served in the role that I was?
So you were a regional representative that was nominated by the activities director to do that. This is just, each school has a liaison, if you will. You don't go to meetings, you don't really serve in any capacity other than, as a,
State update at the
yeah.
MSBA.
Yeah, we would go to those state updates and, yeah. Is anybody interested in that?
Well, evidently that's not the office that I was thinking about, and I wasn't even aware that I was in that role. So I'd be perfectly happy to play that role.
Okay, good. We'll keep you there then. Curriculum Committee, currently we have Neil, Angie, and Gary on that committee. Is that something you would like to stay on?
I would, unless somebody has a burning desire to take my place.
I've been on it 3 years, I like that one, but if someone wants to join, it's a good one to be on. I can go somewhere else.
Sounds like it's you three again. All right, thank you. The Freeborn County Family Services Collaborative, Bruce and Davy.
I've enjoyed that. I don't remember getting any notifications for those, so I'm not sure that I've even attended anything with that one yet.
Okay. We'll make sure you do then, if you're interested.
Yeah,
You want to
I am.
continue?
I
Okay,
remember signing up for that one last year. so
okay,
Interested in it for sure.
good. Business Ed Committee, I would like to stay on that one if possible. Gary, would you like to continue? We don't have unlimited membership there, so if there's someone else you can also just get on the listserv and get that information if you'd like it and attend as you want, so if that's something. But representing the school board, we typically just have 2 people, so.
Did we skip
Yeah, they skipped a couple.
Oh, great, yeah, I just bounced right down to my name. I'll go back. So we'll keep business ed the way it is. So back up to schools for equity and education. This is the one where I don't think I was getting notices. So Angie was, because you can have one person, and then if she can't attend, then the next person would be. So I think that's how. Yeah. Well, I don't know how that works, so.
I didn't realize you
Yeah.
were getting notifications.
No, that's okay. So if Angie wants to continue to serve, or if someone else would like to, they meet quite frequently, I think.
Say monthly at least, seems like.
We want to keep it this way, and then if you can't go, you just let me know, and I'll try to go. Okay. All right, we'll do better. We'll work on that. Yeah. Teacher of the Year, Bruce and Davy. Do you want to continue on that one?
I enjoy that one.
Yeah, yeah, good. They like having you on that. Austin Albert Lee Special Ed Cooperative. Neil and Dave are kind of like in that situation where at least one of
I
you,
have a one and
yep,
Yep, I'm good with that.
okay. Anybody else interested in that one? All right. So committee to reevaluate materials for media center, 2-year term. So are we on the second year of that term, or are we electing new 2-year? Do we know?
I think we're in the second year.
Okay. And I,
serve a second year?
Last year was my first year, but I don't think we had a meeting.
Probably mine then too.
This is second year? Yeah, I should just confirm.
so I think this one has to go,
the way.
yeah, you have to, so who would be interested in sitting on that?
Well, I'll stay on there.
Anyone else?
Can we be on it again?
Well, I think, I think,
If I can be on it, I'll be on it because it's a tough one.
yeah. Do you know, Ashley, they can serve, they can be elected again, right? Yeah, okay. So,
And it's as needed.
as needed, yeah,
There's a yearly, like, touch base, and then it's as needed after that,
got it.
if there are any materials to review.
So it might be really busy, or you may not have anything. Yeah, okay. Well, look out, Bruce, you didn't have anything that was coming, yeah. All right. Right, well, that was, anybody have any questions or concerns or change their mind on any of those? We can talk about that, otherwise Darcy will update that for us and get that out. I think it's also posted on the website under board committees. We are moving on to 4.2, our second action item, the board meeting schedule. You all should have received that in your board packet. Any questions, comments, concerns? Anything you want to add to the schedule?
We crosswalked it,
Superintendent?
so.
Okay.
Thank you for not having the election canvassing meeting at 7 in the morning.
That's much better.
Yes.
So if there's no other discussion, I'd entertain a motion. Second?
Second.
It was motioned by Gary and seconded by Bruce to accept the calendar for 24-25, our board meeting schedule. All in favor? All opposed? Okay, schedule is approved. The next set of items can all be done in one motion. It's resolutions that we do at the beginning of each year, signers, authorities, those kind of things. Is there a motion to approve these as one?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It was motioned by Neil and seconded by Davy to approve item 4.3 through 4.10. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. 4.11, Albert Lee School Executive Administrative Assistant Association Master Agreement. This is an action item. Well,
I'll move to approve.
is there a second?
So that we can have some
Discussion, yeah. All right. Neil's made the motion, not emotion, the motion, and seconded by Gary to approve the contract for the admin assistant. Any discussion?
I just have a question for Jennifer. The healthcare benefit, the single, does that cover the full policy? It does, okay, thanks.
Kim, I got
Yeah,
a couple
absolutely.
comments. Just want to make some comments, and it's not concerns with any individual or any group, but just wanted to make some public notes on some of the situations that I see at our state level as we look at all our different contracts and negotiations, things like that. we are having one of the largest, and then I don't know how far that goes back, amount of monies being sent to us from the state of Minnesota in at least the near history. I have a big concern. I mean, if it's 8 or 10% or whatever we're working with, let's call it 10, but probably 60% of that money's mandated. So we set back, and if that means 60% is mandated, we've got maybe 4% that we can afford to spend without deficit spending or spending out of our budget. Now, I know we've got other forms of monies within the school district, but the state would be the largest amount, and then our local tax levies would be second. Again, I'm just always concerned when we start spending some of these monies over and above what we're taking in with reoccurring things like salaries and benefits and things like that. Again, there's only two things that can happen at that point. We're either gonna, number one, get into our fund balance, which, hey, some people think it's healthy. We got more than a lot. We've got less than others. But the minute we get into that, and then, you know, in a couple of years when we get into state budgeting at the state level, and all of a sudden we find out with this new economy that we have, that we're maybe get into some deficits even at the state, what happens if they delay payments? I think we want to pay everybody. We also want to make sure that, you know, we can make local cuts, which, you know, we end up doing in March. You know, it's something we talked about when we came into negotiations, that hey, if we're going to give some big increases and raises, then are we also saying, gosh, we might have to cut $2-3 million come March, which that's a hard thing to do. That's maybe harder than what we're looking at on this end. So I do have some concerns that we continue to look at. You know, some people would use a scare tactic and talk about statutory debt levels and all that. I'm not too worried about that. We're very responsible here for that. And we have taken pride in having this extra monies because, again, I worked with a board over in Austin, Minnesota a number of years ago that got caught in that delayed payments. And thank heavens we had 3 months worth of payments in the bank because we were right at 90 days without getting any money from the state. We made payroll all the way through that company. It was maybe 2, 3, 4 years later, ended up folding up. It wasn't for that reason at all. But again, I've seen that happen. It's kind of a scary thing. I would not want to go to the bank and have to borrow money and then pay interest on money so that we can make, you know, reoccurring payments. And our job here in the board is to produce the best product we can. That's our kids. And by using the best people that we can, and that's our staff, teachers, you name it. But we also got to balance that a little bit with some fiscal responsibility. And that's the reason I wanted to mention that. I've also heard a little bit at the state level, and maybe I get fed some of this stuff because I said on the MSBA board, but I've heard that the summer unemployment fund is possibly short at the state level. Well, who's responsible for it? We are. We don't know what that is. I mean, that's hard. I mean, I've talked to Ron, mentioned to Jennifer too, you know, you want to get all these projections. Well, just like with enrollment, we don't know what it's going to be. You guys do a great job of, you know, giving us a realistic number, but I guess I'm a little bit more conservative on a realistic number. I don't want to be in that next situation that we'd have to work. Even these free lunch programs, nothing's free. Okay, we're paying for them. Taxpayers are paying for it. Okay, I hope the kids are eating and doing their best with it. But again, if that's short, you know, taxing authorities, we just raise taxes. You know, maybe next year our maximum levies and that kind of things, they may be a little bit in jeopardy of seeing that number come out. But again, just being fiscally responsible, which I know you are, I don't doubt that, but I haven't seen, you know, a lot until we get to the final contract stage. And that's it. Thank you.
Seven. The time it takes to press a button.
I know, Kathy's got it. All right. Any other comments?
Yeah, I could shortly piggyback on what Dave said. I'm obviously concerned about paying the bills too. And, You mentioned, a few years back when the state was in huge trouble, and they weren't able to provide the resources for districts in terms of their bargain, to provide those funds so that we can pay our bills on a regular basis. They withheld them for the periods. These are different. I don't see that happening, but it could a year from now. We need to be prepared for that. That's why we have the 12% fund balance, and I am very concerned about maintaining that. And, we have very little control over our income. The only thing we can really control are our levies. We've done that. And the operating referendum, we've done that. So what's left are expenses, and it's a mixed bag. We need to produce a good product. We need to maintain a good staff. We need to be competitive with other districts, but we also need to maintain a 12% fund balance. You have a tough job to do, and I'm confident that you will do it.
The only other comment that I would make is, I think it's important for consistency purposes that we continue to support the people that support us. I also think that we know in most educational institutions, whether it be nonprofit childcare centers or the school district, the biggest expense we have is people. And so when 80 to 85% of your expenses are people, that's when the discussions get tough. So I'm understanding of that and want to make sure that we stay with that 12% fund balance as well. Any other comments from the board before we vote? Okay, all those in favor of the accepting the Albert Lea School Executive Administrative Assistant Association Master Contract Agreement?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Now we're gonna just have a little conversation about MSBA Leadership Conference that's coming up quick. We have it next week. I think everybody's attending. Davey, you're not able to attend, right? Perfect.
We have some medical appointments that kind of have to do for next week that were unanticipated, so I've shared,
Oh,
the directors
perfect.
Ron and Darcy, so I'm not able to attend.
Good. Well, not good, but
Yeah.
thanks for sharing. Do we typically go up on Wednesday. We've talked about carpooling. We typically have dinner together and then both Wednesday and Thursday. And Darcy, do you want to talk with me about those, or you do that with superintendent?
On Thursday night,
We could kind of just pick, you want to pick something, or should we?
Yeah, we can, I believe, Madam Chair, we can coordinate that once we get up there. And I know that there's a hard agenda that's been sent out. If you haven't received that, we can get you a PDF version of just some of the workshops and breakout sessions. It looks quite engaging, and it's tailored to meet the individual needs. So I think we could also discuss how we can maybe break out and conquer and divide.
Sure. One of the areas that I noticed that they've focused on a lot is that the CTE and the workforce and those pieces. And so that will be a track that I'd like to do or try to go to a lot of those. But very huge offering this year, and it's going to be hard to decide for sure. So I think it'll be good. And that's kind of what we do on that Wednesday night is talk about what we want to go to and divide and conquer, if you will. Yes.
Is it, no one's going up for level 3 at all, training?
I don't think any.
Anybody there? Oh, yeah.
I was going to.
Oh, you were going to, okay.
I'll have to substitute in probably an online version.
Yeah, I think they have a couple face-to-face, but they're both the 3 and 4, so,
Okay.
yeah. Yep, nope, I've done that. I think you've, yeah. Anything else about, I think Bruce and Neil are gonna carpool. We've talked about carpooling, so we'll just, you gotta go up early and stay late. Yeah. All right. Any other questions about that? Think,
Push in case Neil gets stuck.
right.
Actually,
The younger one's pushing, right?
Are you,
I've just been informed that I left my lights on, so if this meeting doesn't get over very quick, I may
Oh.
not have a conversation.
I noticed that.
he's getting awfully bossy after he leaves the chair, right? If there's no other discussion, I entertain a motion. Yeah.
Could you, go back to approving number 4.1, now that we filled it all out? could you just
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Is there a motion to approve?
A second.
Has been moved and seconded by Dave's that we approve the board offices and committee assignments. All those in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Forgot that. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second? I know he doesn't do it, but Robert, okay. All those in favor? Aye.
Great job. Great job.